Let me go on here. And if anything happens, I'll reach back to you on Twitter if for some reason something drops. But we should be okay.
Sounds good. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Let me bring up my channel just to make sure that everything is just running properly. Okay, it's looking good. Let me go in here. All right. What's up, guys? How's it going? My name is Frank, musician, photographer here in the Midwest. And boy, you usually see me during the daytime doing the ghost pics and stuff. But today's a special night. I'm bringing Nightmare's Edge onto the show where we're going to discuss his narrations, everything about horror, paranormal, and everything else in between. It's going to be fun. Not super serious, not super planned out. It's just something we talked about on the show, and I wanted to bring him in. But let me real quickly say hello to Sandra Pink Paranormal, Frugal Farmer. Who else is in the house? Anybody else that's in the house here before we bring on Barbara M. Green? Welcome. Lady Nottingham. I'm probably saying that wrong. Windy City Steve O. Hello, my friend. Haven't seen you on Lynn Mitzi. Oh my God. And guys, feel free to go ahead and share this out. Lady Noppenheim, I'm going to give you a wrench. I believe you're from probably the friends over by Nightmare's Edge. And Abe, if you guys get Twitter, tweet this out, and I'm going to bring them in just a few minutes here. Just want to make sure everything's working properly. I do have some questions that you guys asked, but I'll get to it probably like in the middle of the segments or maybe towards the end. But first, I'm going to introduce them and bring them in. So let me pop out of here real quick. Okay, so I'm going to come out of here, and guys, let's bring him in. This is Nightmare's Edge. You want to introduce yourself?
We are What is up, everyone? How's it going? It's good to see everybody.
All right, good deal. So you wanna tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're all about?
So I actually about 2 years ago, September, I actually started a gaming channel to get to know how to do narrations. The back scenes of YouTube. And then about a year ago, September of last year, I actually started the narration. So horror mostly. I love horror. I've done a couple crazy different stories on my channel that have really kind of had their fun. One of them, sorry to jump into that one, but it's a one word at a time. It's actually like 12 to 15 different narrators who just wrote a story, one word or one phrase at a time. But mostly just horror stuff.
Wow. And that's pretty much where you branched off. So how long ago would you say that was? That was back in like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or like last year? How long ago was it?
That I started the channel? September of last year.
Oh, okay, so it's a fairly new channel. I did notice that.
Yeah, like 7 months or so, I think. I'm not good with math.
Cool. So it looks like Paige Turner just jumped in. Rose Biss just jumped in. Hello, guys. Ellie family. Professional paranormal research is in the house. We have a pretty good group here. This is awesome. I'm very excited. Sorry about that. Okay, so you have an awesome voice. It's a natural deep voice for like narration and stuff. And did you know that right away that like, hey, I'm like, did you listen back to your voice and say, hey, I think I want to try this narration stuff, or did somebody else tell you that you had a great voice and then you gave it a shot?
No, it actually kind of neither. So one of my favorite actors' voices ever was Leonard Nimoy. And I really there was a couple of shows that I watched of him just kind of narrating or that narration voice. And not that I think my voice is similar to his, but I always thought something I would have liked to do, because it just seems like, imagine all the stories you get to hear, especially like when they come to the true stories, looking those up, trying to figure those out. So I just, something I wanted to do. And then that's when I started the gaming channel to try and learn the back ropes of YouTube, so that when I did start this channel, hopefully it would be successful. I think I learned quite a bit from the gaming channel, but this is definitely kind of my primary focus at the moment.
Nice. And how long were you doing the gaming channel, if you don't mind me asking?
I went. It's still, well, it's technically still there. It's just, because my computer's down. I haven't been
Mhm.
able to upload a video since December, but that was a full year. I did get up to 1,300 subscribers, um, but it's been a minute since I've done anything with the gaming channel, unfortunately.
Wow. And what kind of games? Well, I'm assuming you mostly play like horror games and stuff like that, or was it something else?
Actually, I'm very boring horror game because I don't really get scared. Jump scares don't really get me, so I'm just like, oh, that's scary. I think, So, but I play a lot of survival games, a lot of games that require you to gather resources, collect resources, and build your territory. Collect up weapons and shoot zombies, mostly. So.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, man. You do any like role playing stuff like Final Fantasy? I mean, I've been out of gaming for so long. I don't even know what's cool anymore.
I think the last role playing game I actually played, I would say, was probably World of Warcraft, and I actually played that for
Oh,
about 10 years. So,
wow.
but that was probably the last one I played, and then I kind of went into more of the solo player, or like the survival type games.
Wow. So your Nightmare's Edge channel, I noticed you decided to do short stories. How did that come about? Because I think that's a great idea, and especially because shorts are, kind of a big thing on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
What inspired that? Did you see somebody else do it, or because you're the only one I've seen do that for narration?
So this actually, when I originally did this, I actually started with a gaming channel. Short, funny clips. I actually got the idea from one of my gamer buddies, Mad Mook. He's like, we should start doing this because this is kind of a new thing. So we actually did that, and I got one short that got me like 160 subscribers. So I just kept going with it, and did really well. And then they changed the way that the shorts worked. And then 10, 15 per video. So I just went with that. And that's how I actually got that 1,300 subscribers. Here, I actually tried to find short stories that were good short stories, not just, oh, I met somebody weird in the parking lot or something like that. And it was
Right.
really hard to find those. And it's actually Lady Nopingham who posted kind of a short clip from one of her videos. And I'm like, I'm going to steal that idea. So that's kind of what I did. So then I'll take like short clips out of most of these stories that I'm doing and just kind of give you like a little snippet of what that story is about. And then I'll link the full video in the actual description. So that's actually how that came about with the shorts.
Oh wow. Okay. I mean that dude, that's awesome. And like I never really seen it done before. And I thought, man, that's a pretty cool way to, get your stuff out there.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I noticed that you like, I mean, for a lot of people, I think this is the first time them seeing you. So when you do your gaming, do you also not show your face, or do you do like the gamer streamer where there's like a circle where they got the gamer on there, or how do you do yours?
So normally I have a green screen up behind me, and I actually do use the face cam when I'm doing the video games, but because I don't really associate the two channels together very often, um, most of the horror community doesn't actually know what I look like. This will be the first time as Nightmare's Edge, you're actually seeing my face for the first time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I actually considered maybe not doing this, but because I think there's a bit of mystery of who's behind the voice. So,
Wow. Well, I appreciate you coming on here and kind
so
of doing
face
like a
reveal.
little reveal, man. I think that's
Yeah.
pretty cool, dude. And man, it's so awesome. And wow. Do you have um a special microphone or some kind of gear that you use, or do you just say, "Hey, I just got this standard mic and my voice is so awesome that I don't need the gear"? So you want to give us a little insight on that?
So when I actually started, I actually used my gaming headset to actually start recording. It wasn't the greatest, so if anybody ever goes back to listen to my older videos, I apologize for that. I did the best I could. And the mic I actually have now was a $50 setup from Amazon.
Oh
The mic
wow.
itself is probably $25 mic. The rest of it is the boom pole, the pop filter, the spit filter. I don't know what the other filter is called.
No, that's right.
Um, but yeah, I mean it's a cheap mic that actually sounds pretty good. It's got pretty good pickup. So
Oh, that's awesome. And do you have like a special like area that you do your voices in? Do you like have a, because some people that do like vocal stuff, they either have like a vocal booth, or they use their closet, or they have like a makeshift, like,
yeah.
I've seen people use like moving blankets underneath cardboards and stuff.
No, I'm in my bedroom. My bed's right there. My dog is right there. My TV's right there. I mean, mostly I try to make it as silent as possible when I'm actually recording at 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning, because that's when there seems to be nothing else going on around outside or
Wow.
whatever. Every once in a while, you'll hear birds chirping in the background on my recordings. That's really hard to get those out, especially when I feel like I've done a good line and I don't want to redo it. But yeah, so.
Wow. And so do you have a particular like editing program that you use, or you just use something that's standard for audio?
So when I record, I actually record in Audacity, and then
Oh,
I'll do the cleanup there. I'll do the noise reduction, and then I'll do the compression and whatnot. But then when I actually edit the audio, I edit in DaVinci Resolve 17.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the free version. I at this point I'm not paying for anything because not making
Nice.
any money.
Right. Do you intend on someday maybe, making some money from it, or?
I hope so. It's a dream of mine to be a narrator of some sort. One thing I would like to do eventually maybe is, those crime shows, and they actually talk a lot about, or they do narrations for like serial killers or something like that. They've got that deep gravelly guy, and that's kind of what I like ultimately I would like to do. But I'm also having a lot of fun, like the series that I'm working on right now, which is there's an ancient tower in the northern Atlantic, or the North Atlantic. um, I'm not really a voice actor, but I got a lot of amazing people who are actually joining me on that. But getting the story right, adding, getting the emotion, getting the sounds, getting the sound effects or the music, that is all stuff I'm actually really enjoying a lot more than I actually thought I was going to be. But it's also a lot of work. But I think it's paying off.
Wow. So just real quickly, I just want to say hi to Miscast Entertainment, Andrew, and a couple other people. Double D Paranormal. Just a quick hello, Kit Merlot and Mr. High, Sean Cody. In case we missed you guys, I just, when I'm doing an interview, because usually when you see me on Wednesday, I'm very engaging with the people in the chat. It's like back and forth, back and forth. But when I have a guest, it's I tend to pay attention to what we're talking about. And so if I'm not as chatty with you guys, don't be upset. Well, there is going to be a moment I'm going to bring up some questions that some of the viewers asked, but we'll eventually get to that. But no, this is cool, man, because I've always been interested in trying to do some type of voice narration. And actually, Miscast reads he does some voice acting as well, and he's done some work in that department too. But yeah,
Nice.
there's a lot of opportunity. Like for example, on Amazon, there's opportunity there for narrators for books, all kinds of books, not just like horror. You know.
Interesting. I actually did not know that.
Mhm.
I'll have to
Yeah.
look into
So
that.
if you can get in on because there's so many, like, there's a lot more writers out there than there is ability of people who can actually do a really good like voice. I mean, when I went to your channel, I mean, it took a while, because I mean, I kept seeing you on the chat and you kept listening. So I'm gonna go check this out. I'm gonna listen to it. And I was like, man, I'm like, he's got a really nice deep voice, and it sounded very you're kind of captivating, because I mean, there are some other channels that do the narration, and it's just very, uh, you know, it doesn't come across, but
Mm.
yours, it's like, oh, okay. So you think doing the gaming, did that help you in learning how to speak, or did you have any a hard time like talking at first when you first started doing it? Were you nervous?
When I first with the narration, I was nervous because I was worried about what my mic sounded like, because I was using the gaming headset. But I actually, with the gaming channel, I was actually really nervous to do the live stream to start, or even record the videos with the audio, because this is something new. It was crazy, and people are going to be seeing your stuff. I mean, yeah, I might not be the most entertaining of all, but I've got a mix of, I guess, a little bit of funny and a lot of game knowledge. So I tend to like drop that in little nuggets. Not trying to make it a complete tutorial, but I'm also, trying to play the game because I love video games. So,
Right.
uh, so that actually helped me get over the nervous factor pretty quick. Just starting to talk about the games. Yes, Lady No Pam, I miss them as well.
Miss Cass Reeves is mentioning Audacity on Amazon for Actors Portal for narration work, and then he also mentioned ACX on Amazon as a portal for narrating books professionally.
Interesting. I'll
So
have to
there's
check
some,
that one out. Definitely.
there's definitely some opportunities right there. Let me say hi to Artzilla. She's saying hello to everyone. And so I want to say, Lady Noppenheim, since she missed, so you were talking about the gaming live streams.
Yeah.
Um, did you meet a lot of people that were into narration or in a horror community through gaming, or did this just kind of start like on YouTube and on Twitter?
No, so with the gaming community and the narrating, or the gaming channel and the narration channel, I actually try to keep them separate. I
Okay.
wanted to just grow them in two different communities, and it was going pretty well. And then one day I decided to drop a link to my live stream on my gaming channel, and then a few people from the gaming or the narration community come over and watch me get my butt kicked by some friends of mine. Lady Nopingham was actually one of the ones that came, and there were a few others from the narration community. And even now, I don't really mix them a lot, but kind of two separate communities for me for the most part. There's a few that cross over, but mostly just kind of stick to their own. Not that anything's wrong with that, but that's just kind of the way, I guess, the way I'm playing it. I'm not trying to like drag people over to my gaming channel or vice versa, but if they're
Sure.
interested, the information is there.
Nice. And I also like in listening, I see that you like add it's not just your voice, you're adding like sound effects and many different aspects of it that like kind of are submersive to the listener. And I was wondering, do you record that yourself, or do you go? Are there specific sites that offer that for free, or how does that come about?
So there are websites that offer them for free. The one I use is Zapsplat. They have a lot of really good sounds. They also have a free version or free sounds, and then they also have like a paid version, which is their gold star version. And I use some of those sounds. It's only like $4.99 a month, so it's definitely worth it, especially if you're working on like the story I'm working on. It's an epic story, like some of the sound effects that I was getting for the free version just wasn't exactly what I was looking for. And then I saw that the gold ones are actually what, perfect sounds. So then I upgraded to get it. So, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of sound websites out there that you can use for free. Uh, but it's definitely worth it, especially if you use them right. I'm still learning how to do it. There's a lot of that goes into it, especially when you have 70, 80 sounds in one story. And then, of course, I'm trying to add the music in at the same time, and then trying to make sure the voices line up or the timing
Right.
is right, so everybody's not trying to talk over each other. So there's actually quite a bit into it, but yeah, I'm loving it.
And how do you balance the time? I mean, do you is there, because everybody's got a different living dynamic. So for example, like I'm in between places, and I had a room set up with like soundproofing. I had my mic, everything going, and now that shifted. So I don't have the proper studio. I'm getting there, but how do you manage the time to find time to record? Is it difficult for you? Is it stressful, or do you have your setup and it's easy? You can just sit down and start doing it. Do you have any advice on that?
So for me, I don't sleep much. I generally sleep 2 or 3 hours a night.
Wow.
So for me, I'm usually up. I get up around 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then that's when I get my coffee, get my smoke, and then I come in and sit down and start recording. About 8 o'clock is when the dogs decide that they are ready to start their day. So I've got to get my recording in that window because, you know, the household is asleep, including the dogs, and there's not a lot of outside sound. Birds generally aren't chirping at me at that point. But thank you very much, Lady Nopagame. I appreciate that. Thank you, Denise. Sorry, I'm
No, it's good, man. Go
I'm
for
not
it.
really looking at the chat too much because I'm engaged here. I'm enjoying the conversation. So
Definitely, man.
But yeah, that's kind of my thing. You know, and if I do, I also, not a lot of people know this. I actually narrate for a large third channel. I'm the voice of that channel, but it is a true crime channel, and because it is true crime, I'm not trying to do the creepy voice, like to give it that
Oh, right.
you know, I'm just trying to deliver facts, but also put some emotion behind the facts. You know, so that I actually record in the afternoon because there's a different uh, edge to my voice, I guess.
Right.
You know, in the
Right.
mornings, so
Right.
that's when I record my narrations is in the morning. But for the true crime channel, I usually do in the afternoon. So I
Gotcha.
just have to find a window when the dogs are taking a nap. You know, the household is quiet, and you know, if there are any birds outside my window, I have to shoo them away. But that's true.
Oh, wow.
As for advice, I don't really have any because I've got, you know, I've got 3 monitors, a TV, bed, you know, all this stuff. So there's a lot of what they call reflections. So beyond that, I just try to make sure that all other sounds are eliminated so that when I do the noise reduction, it's not just uh, making that tinny sound, make it sound like you're in a tin can.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, and it's tough to, you know, like you can hear the echo in the room. There's nothing blocking it, nothing to prevent it from having that. Um, so I was a bit embarrassed. I'm like, I know I'm gonna have this dude on who is, I can tell that you are very good at your craft, and I'm like, here I am gonna be.
I
But then
appreciate that.
it's like, hey, let's just have fun. That's why I said it's not
Yeah,
super serious
absolutely.
fun. It's all good. But once I have my setup, then I'll be good to go. But yeah, I also try to do all like the editing afterwards and stuff like the EQing, the maximizing and doing all the high dynamic, all that good stuff. How long have you known that craft of that side? Because most people, I don't think they really get that. You know what I mean? I think they think they can just talk into a mic and then that's it. How long have you known about editing and being able to get the best sound out of your mic and your voice?
So with the editing, I learned a lot of that when I was doing the gaming. That was for me. That was a little, you know, so many YouTube videos. I watched so many YouTube videos on how to edit, you know, with different programs and whatnot. But with the narration, that is actually something that has taken some time. You know, I've been at this 7 months, um, and like Lady Nopingham or Paige Turner, you know, I fret over this stuff all the time because I want to be better. I want I would like to do this for a living some point at some point. Is it possible? Sure. Is it going to happen? I don't know. But unless I continue to try and improve, it's going to be a no in the end. So I listen to suggested videos, you know, of people doing these narrations so that while I don't want to copy them, I can understand why they do certain things certain ways. So yeah, that's about yeah. I mean, it's just a learning thing as I go.
No, fair enough, man. That's good though. That's good. And this lady saying, "Can I answer that cartoon if I'm allowed?" By night, I guess they're everybody. Since you mentioned another channel, they're all like, the curiosity is peaking. You
So
know.
the other channel is called excuse me, it's called Criminal Core.
There you go. There you go, guys. That's awesome.
Thank you,
And
Barbara. I appreciate that.
and there's one that, because you're bringing up criminal, like narrations and like true crime. So I think you must have heard of that chapter.
You would be
No.
surprised at how many people I do not know about.
Wow.
It,
Man, if you do get a chance, check out that chapter. And that dude is pretty good at doing his thing. Um, and it's again like a true crime thing. He's got like a million subscribers, so he's up there. But I like the way he does it. He's very, I mean, he's serious to a point, but then he's very quirky and funny at the
Yeah.
same time. So he kind of keeps you engaged. And then regarding your thumbnails are very like slick looking. Do you also design those as well?
I do half of mine. Lately, actually, Lady Nopingham has been like with my big series. Like I have a series on my channel called On Nightmare's Edge. Thank you, Lady Nopingham. It's on Nightmare's Edge, which is actually written by Paige Turner. It's a story that's kind of focused around my narrating persona. So because that is a big thing, Lady Nopingham actually did my thumbnails for that one, and she's
Oh
actually
wow,
doing the ones for the current series I'm working on right now.
nice.
I just love her thumbnails, and she's just been gracious and kind enough to actually do those for me because mine, they very much have a gaming feel to them. I think still they're
Hmm.
not that typical horror narration type thumbnail. So
Wow. I just want to quickly say hi to Michelle. It's been a while since I've seen her. Denise says that chapter is great. He's really growing his confidence. Arcilla says that she met you on Creepy Clown Girl stream.
yeah,
That's
yeah, I think Arzilla was actually having some technical difficulties, and I was just kind of like a stand-in. But then Arzilla was able to get her stuff worked out, so she agreed to actually, not mind sharing the space with me
nice.
for Creepy Clown Girl's interview. So that was a lot of fun. It was really cool getting to know her.
Cool. And how long ago was that? That was maybe like a year ago?
No, that was what was that? 4 months ago. I mean, I think it was like
Oh,
in
okay. So just recently.
November. Yeah, it was like in November. I mean, everything on this side has only happened since September of last year.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Creepy Clown Girl, I met her through the Zombified channel, which I don't know if they're still doing their show or not. But so I started listening to her, Lady Spookuria. So there's actually quite a bit of people. Do you mostly use Twitter to promote your YouTube channel, or is Twitter just like on its own hemisphere? How do you view Twitter?
I'm terrible at Twitter. I post my videos and everyone's, like if I remember to log in, I'll go in and like retweet or like interact a little bit. But I'm terrible at the whole Twitter thing. Really, really terrible at it. So Twitter is just if I remember, I'm going to do it, kind of thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, because there's a lot of narration people like Creepy Clown Girl, or so like a lot of the um, narrators that seem to be on there. And you were mentioning Paige Turner, and I actually like she started reposting the stream that we were gonna do the interview, and I ended up going to her WordPress and checking out her stories. I was like,
Mm,
wow, I'm like, this is pretty cool, man. I'm like, I really like. She's got some really cool stories there, man. Not
yeah.
too long, not too short. It's just like that perfect idea. So, do you typically work with her mostly, or do you have like a whole group of people that you do
Um,
your narration for?
Honestly, mostly it comes back to a Lady Nottingham. She actually suggests quite a few stories that I do. Other than like the true life stories, which I actually get from Reddit. I'll reach out to the people who actually had this experience, ask them if they mind if I actually narrate their experience, and they say yes or no. To this point, there's only been one that's said no, and that's only because they wanted to do it on their channel. Paige Turner and I work together quite often. She's one of my favorite authors, so I definitely want to, I definitely work with her when actually coming up in a few weeks, I'm going to do um, Sleepy Hollow. She did a modern translation of it, so I'm actually going to do a narration for the Sleepy Hollow. But she's also doing quite a few, like I think it was the April Fools. She did an April Fools story. I
Hmm.
narrated that, and like I said, she did the one series. She also did. Darn it! I know there's a couple more that I just can't think of them right now. It just
That's all right. We
wasn't
can
hitting.
we probably like, I mean, because she has a YouTube channel as well. So people can go check that out because like some of my people are now going to find your channel and these other people's channels. So it'd be like connecting everybody, and be checking out their stories, and that'll bring more people, viewers to your channel as well. You know,
I'm
and I
definitely
think
cool with that.
you started it off really, really good. I mean, I think that like it's like I look at it, I'm like, it looks really slick. It's right to the point, and you're sticking to the one thing. That's what I'm bad with. I have how to, I have paranormal, I have like all these things, man, and it's just like, oh my god, I gotta keep it together.
I think it's probably one of the biggest reasons why I actually enjoy your live stream, why I enjoy your channel, because I can't, even with gaming, I have a hard time with live streams. So I appreciate everyone that's here, but I have a hard time watching live streams. So when I found yours, I was super stoked. Yeah, it was paranormal, but you've also got, you got the how-to videos, you've got the music videos, you got the behind-the-scene videos. So that was really one cool thing that I liked about your channel is there was actually quite a few different options to do or to watch. So that was one of the cool things that
Oh, cool.
that drew me to your channel.
Awesome, man. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been at it since like freaking 2008. I mean, we're going way back. But I didn't really start like really putting full effort into it until just recently. I really I'm like, okay, I really gotta really think about this and really like go full force and try to do it. Believe it or not, like the reaction videos seem to have done really well for me, and I'm sort of trying to get back to that. But the whole issue that I come across is that you can't really use too much stuff because you get like blocked or you get copyrights. I'm like, man, I don't want to take that chance. So I was wondering, so when you choose your stories and stuff like that, do narrators come across the same issue with like writers,
If
uh,
they
having
don't
issues
ask for
with copyright?
permission, if they don't ask for permission and actually have permission to narrate those stories, then the author could come back and say, "Hey, I need you to take this down," and they can, like, I don't know, submit a strike against you or whatever. Or if you use music that's copyright, that has copyright, and or anything that you don't have permission to use. For me, I use nothing but, like, when it comes to music, I use directly from YouTube library. So there's no chance that I'm going to get a copyright strike unless
Right.
something changes there. And then it's like, look, it was in your library. So I've had no problems there. With the photos, I use the free, the royalty free photos for my thumbnails from multiple websites, but I always credit those sources. So yeah. So for me, it's just making sure that I've got the permission. And if that's just a message saying, yeah, you can use it, that's permission to me. I will save that on my computer so that if that ever comes up, I've got that conversation or I've got that email. So
Okay, that's cool. That's good to know, because it's really tough to navigate, especially with the way the AI is. It's very like picky, as to what you can use and not use. So
absolutely.
I take quite a chance. A lot of my shorts are from TikTok. I'm not gonna deny that they're not. They are, and then I try to speak on it and see what people's feelings are on it. But I usually say, hey, it came from this user, da 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 da. But for me, it's been mainly the main record labels when you're trying to do a reaction to a music video. That's when you really that's when you
Yeah.
get you're hitting like this like block, and you're like which is sad because you can really gain quite a lot of viewers that way as well. And it's cool because I had some crossover. I had some people that like came for my reaction videos, and then they just stuck around for the paranormal, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, we like your paranormal as well too. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
um, do you have like a schedule, for example? Okay, so I try to do my videos that are out several weeks in advance, at a certain specific time. Do you do that for your videos on YouTube as well, or you just kind of like randomly when you can add them?
So I do premieres every Tuesday at 7:30 Central, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and that's a or a fiction story. So that's going to be like the Ancient Tower series that I'm doing right now. And I'm playing with my True Stories video. Like before my computer went down, I haven't recorded any more True because I lost so many recordings and stories on the computer. I just haven't felt getting back into that, but I've been trying to narrow down when the best time to release that video is. So I've tried like 8 a.m. on Friday morning, or 10 p.m. on Saturday evening, or 6 a.m. on Sunday. So I'm playing with that day, but 7:30 Tuesday is a guaranteed video from me. It's usually going to be a premiere, so it's going to be the whole live thing, live chat while you were listening to my voice in your speakers or whatever. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good though, man. I mean, it's good to know all that stuff. What I have on my analytics. I don't know if everybody has this, but I have a graph that shows me Monday through Sunday, and it shows me kind of like a really highlighted purple area of when my viewers are on um, the most. So I kind of take from that graph and I pick the timeline from there, and I try to upload it during that time period.
It's interesting. I'm wondering if that's something that you get at maybe a higher number, because I'm not,
It might be.
or I'm just not looking at it. And I spend a lot of time in the analytics on both channels, so I
Yeah,
will need
maybe.
to look a little harder for that, or
Yeah, maybe like after the interview and everything, like maybe tomorrow or another day, I'll get the screenshots and I'll send them to you so you can see where it's at, because it's actually really helpful. It's been helpful for me because I know that my core audience is typically Friday, Saturday, around 7, 8 o'clock, and they start to die down around noon, 1 o'clock or something like that. So I know that in that window, I can try to hit them with a video and it'll do fairly good.
that's actually
Not
really,
it's not like gonna blow up or anything, but
yeah, but that's really good information to have. So I definitely need to, or would love to know more about this.
yeah, definitely, man. But I think you do. Have you ever thought about using maybe like a more visual, more moving, like royalty free pictures? Like I try to do like compilation videos, and I film my own B-roll stuff, that I
Hmm.
try to find like a storm, or if I'm like driving, like we were driving back from doing a tour. I'm a musician, so we're driving back during a tour, and it was all this fog, and I pulled out my camera. I'm like, I gotta film this fog, and I ended up using that as some like B-roll stuff. So, have you ever thought about like using more visual stuff in your videos, or do you like keeping it just the way it is at the moment?
So when I first started, I actually did changing pictures throughout the entire story. No matter, like if I had a story that was, 15 minutes, I would probably go through 10 or 12 pictures. I try to find pictures that are similar to that is happening into the story, and then that's what I would put up there. But there were times I would spend 3 hours looking for a picture that was remotely similar or remotely um, relevant to the story, or that portion of the story that I'm looking for. And when I'm spending that much time looking for one picture and I've still got 10 more pictures to find, it got old.
All right.
So I did back off. And if this ever becomes a full-time thing, I would absolutely love to go back to that. But for now, I stick with the thumbnail and just try to add some visual effects, like the zoom blur, or the Caucasian, or the guy, not
The
the
Gaussian,
yes,
Gaussian blur. Yeah.
yeah, and then I do an old film damage, so you've got the little like film
Yeah.
spots on there, and then like so that's kind of things I try to work with now, just to give it a little bit of something. But I really want to try to keep it about the story, about the voice, about the voice actors that are joining me, and I think some of that can actually be a little bit of a distraction to an extent. But I also know some people like that visual aspect, and I think for me, that's why I at least still add the blurs, or the camera shaking, or things of that nature. So, but yeah, eventually I would like to go back to doing the changing pictures, because I think a lot of people appreciated that, because it was a different kind of thing. You don't see that a lot. You see it some, but not a whole lot these days, I think.
Cool, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, not that it's not good, like right as it is. I think it's awesome. I was just curious, because I I've been trying to, I experiment with different things, and I also had all this footage of this lightning, so I'm like, you know what? Let me do an ASMR video. I'm like, I've never done one before. I'm gonna do this. I got this like 12 minutes of lightning, So I did like you. I went to the YouTube music library. I found a song that was sort of fitting, and I kind of stretched this thing out to an hour long, you know. So it was just kind of a neat thing to try out. But I have seen ASMR channels that like just are huge, and all they're doing is like just talking and like ripping paper in front of a mic.
I
Or they're,
can't. I can't. I can't. I can't.
I mean, I'm trying to be serious, but it's just like
No,
I'm
no,
watching
no.
this, and the dude's got like millions of fucking subscribers. I'm like, I'm sorry, pardon my language, but I'm just like, what?
No, no, I get it. Like I understand that to some people it is super helpful, but for me, it's
Right.
I can't. I just want to pop my eardrums or something. I
Oh
can't
my
handle
god, that's funny.
it.
So Page Turner says something on the screen, anything at all helps my ad. A lot of times I rewind the video to find where I stopped listening, and usually pretty far before I realize. Okay. Let's see. And then somebody added to that the ASMR said I saw a girl licking a fake ear.
I was on Twitch. I jumped over on Twitch one night to watch Swamp Dweller play a video game, and one of the recommended channels was this female licking two mics. That was the entire. That was it. Just she was just licking these mics, and they were like
Oh.
specialized mics just for this. And I'm like, I mean, that's if that's your thing, great. I'm not judging, but it's
Right,
funny.
right.
So I'm just gonna say that.
Well, I try to do it with music because that seemed more like relevant to me. But yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to get myself. I mean, I'm not at your level, of course, but I eventually want to get to some kind of level where I'm got my setup, and hopefully I'll have that back up. And we're almost getting close to 10 o'clock, so let me pull up the questions that my viewers had asked, if you don't mind,
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
and then we'll take it from there. Because we're having so much fun. I didn't I looked down. I'm like, look, it's not almost 9:45. I'm like, woo.
Yeah, I'm actually enjoying this.
No, it's just
And also just
yeah.
everybody in chat, I apologize if I'm missing anything you're saying. I'm on my laptop, so I've got Frank on one side and trying to watch chat, but I'm just not so good at it right now.
Okay. So some of these have been. Let's see. Let me pull up the questions here. Um, okay, this is a good one. This is from Ness Lover. She asked Edge if he has ever had his own paranormal or cryptozoological experiences. That's how she put it. Have you ever had any of those two?
So yes, actually there's one that's actually on my channel um, that I actually wrote up. It was something that happened when I was in college. My friends and I'm not sure if you guys actually want to hear it. I can direct
Yeah,
you to
go
the
go ahead,
video.
go
It
for it. Yeah,
sounds terrible, but I can direct you there as well. But so basically, my friends and I used to like to go caving. We would go explore these caves that were out in the middle of the woods that you only hear about from the locals because you know, somebody stumbled across it one night. They were drunk and they found the entrance, so they tell their friend. But anyway, we have been going to these caves in Georgia for a while when I was living in Tennessee. So one day we decided we were going to go back to a cave that we've been going to several times because it was massive system, and there were still like two branches that we hadn't actually explored. So this night when we get there, we take us some beer. We go inside and we set up our little lamp after we've done enough exploring. We were just going to spend the night in the cave, get up, and leave the next morning. So as we're laying there, we start. My buddy is looking at me, and I could barely see him because it's dark. We just have this little lamp that's keeping some light. And I look at my buddy, and he's like looking past me, scared. So I look, and in the shadow is a darker humanoid shadow just standing there.
wow.
My body says, this is terrifying. You need to get your butt out of here. So I tell my friends, I'm like, look, it's time for us to get up and go. I'm being calm, trying not to like alert anybody. But then as I'm standing up, we start being pelted by rocks. Now, whoever these people were, they didn't have lights. They didn't approach us with lights or anything like that. So once they started throwing rocks, I'm like, okay, we need to get the hell out of here. Let's go. So we grab our stuff, start heading out of the cave. And then this person starts chasing behind us. And then I hear a second set of footprints running behind us as well. Okay, at that time, I was very much in shape. I ran 4 miles a morning. I was a running back in football. I was quick. I was tough. I was a strong guy. These guys were gaining on me like I had stolen their lunch money, right?
Wow.
They were like, so I stop. I tell my friend, get them out, because they were terrified. They were crying. They're stumbling over rocks. And the only way that they were going to get out, I felt, was if I stopped and, at least confronted these people. So I did. I'd stop and turn around. They stop and just stare at me. I'm terrified at this point, right? So as I'm pulling up my light, it looks just like two people wearing hoodies. So I hear my friends just going out to the cave entrance. So I turn around and start sprinting out. These guys catch up to me. And as I'm trying to dive, so this entrance is only like 2 feet wide. It's not a big entrance. So I'm like trying to dive through this thing. As I start to dive, I feel this hand clamp onto my ankle. I face plant, break my nose. I can feel the blood pouring out. And then I feel my friend's hands grab my hands and start pulling me out of the cave. At that moment, the other hand, the hand that had my ankle, just let go. And then they pulled me out. That was my last trip ever into a cave.
Wow.
Like, I don't scare easy, but the fact that I was manhandled by someone, I'm running full tilt. I dive into this entrance and they stop me dead by just grabbing my ankle. I have no idea what it was. I just know that that's one of my experiences. But the cave, thank you, Lady Nobingham, for linking that video. I apologize for the audio. It's not that great, but it's got the full story there.
Wow, dude, that is just holy. I don't even know what to say. That's pretty scary. How long ago did that happen?
That was like, I was 20 years old, so 20. How old am I? 40 something.
Wow.
It's like 22 years ago.
Yeah. Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that's wow. Guys, if you guys got anything to add in the comments, that's pretty wild. I never heard anything like that before.
It was terrifying, dude. It was the most well, not the most, but it's one of the most terrifying things in my life.
So okay, so let's keep going here. So Jojo Partridge asked, what narration has stayed with you or haunted you long after the story has been told? And it's got to be this. I want to say this one, right? I mean,
so this is my personal story. So
that's your person,
yeah, but this isn't the one that's actually stuck with me. Narrations that I've done. So when I first started, I actually have a collection of stories that were the real monsters, humans, right? So I've got 3 real life stories, but in those 3 stories, one of them is about a guy and his girlfriend who go to this bar. They're drinking, have a good time. He's I guess their designated driver. So the girlfriend is just, having a good time drinking, and she's getting a little bit drunk at this point. Well, they meet these 2 guys who starts just buying them drink after drink and says, we'll make sure that you guys get home, this and that. So the girlfriend has to go to the restroom. So boyfriend, escorts her to the restroom, and they come back. And when they come back, the guy notices a different feel about these 2 guys that they're interacting with. Very well-dressed, very good-looking guys. But they start to hand them drinks, but they were very specific about the drinks that they were actually giving each of them. He noticed that in the drink of the one that they were giving to the girlfriend, there was a little fizzy bubble at the bottom coming up, like someone had dropped a pill in there. The guy immediately was terrified when he realized what was happening.
Yeah.
So he looks at these 2 guys and he says, that's when I realized I was looking at the face of evil, because these 2 guys were just waiting for something to happen so that they could take her, right? Wow. So he decides, I need to get my girlfriend out of the bar, because he doesn't know what he's going to do, because he's, if I remember right, he's not that big of a guy. Taking on 2 it's not a good situation. So
right.
He gets angry and apparently breaks a beer bottle and threatens to cut his girlfriend if she doesn't follow him. So he grabs her by the arm, because this is the only way he knew how to get her out of the bar. So he's like terrified. So he grabs her by the arm. She stumbles out. They make it home safe. A couple weeks later, you find out that these two guys that they met in the bar were actually a couple guys who were heavy into human trafficking in that bar scene.
Oh my
And he
God.
realized just how lucky he was that he saw that pill at the bottom
Right.
of the drink. So for me, that is a real human experience that is the most one of the most terrifying things I can imagine. Someone, you know, drugging you and
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Holy cow, man. What, like, it's such a close call too, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel bad that he had to go that direction. Hopefully, he wasn't necessarily a violent guy. I don't think he was, but to be able to, like, I guess I don't want to say command because that sounds like a bad word. A demand, something like that. Like, look, we need to go. I need you to not ask questions. I mean, I feel kind of bad that that's the way it went, but you know, she was safe. You know, you know, he didn't cut her, so that's good.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
but yeah, that was the craziest story I've narrated.
Wow,
The one
dude,
that stuck with me.
that is, yeah, that's something, man, because you know it could have ended up like really really badly, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's pretty much it. I mean, there were some other ones, but I think you mostly answer them, like, you know, when did you start narration? We talked about that. What is your longest narration? I don't know if we got into that, but you know, I'm assuming it's probably would. Do you have like a time limit, or do you just, like, if it's a good story, you just keep going, right? I mean,
So if it's a story, so if I try to keep my videos under 45, 50 minutes, somewhere around there. So if it's a story that has multiple, um, like I can break it up into 2 or 3 parts, I will do that. So I will just break it down to, like, this series that I'm doing now. It's got 11 parts, but I was able to break it down so that each video is about 35 minutes, 35 minutes, and the last one is going to be a little bit longer. But if you wanted to take what is the longest story, I guess that would probably be the one series, the one that Paige Turner actually wrote for my channel,
nice.
and I think that's 3 hours long, maybe 3.5. I can't remember
Wow.
exactly. It's been a minute since I've looked at the time on that. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah,
both agreeing on you on that one. Wow,
yeah.
pretty cool, man. All right, man. I'm not gonna keep you longer. Usually, like, it's about around an hour. You know, just to be fair to everyone, that we're not. You know, I think we're at a very good peak. You know, you gave us some awesome stories, and you know, and hey, you know what? Maybe also open the door to bring you back on at
Yeah,
another
absolutely,
point,
man.
is see where you're at. So, what are your plans? Or what do you got? Anything brewing that you're like, hey, you know, I'm excited that I got this and this coming up? You have anything that you want to let us know, that it's, you know, exciting news or something you got upcoming for your channel or even your gaming channel?
Um, well, I just hit 600 subscribers today, so that's super exciting.
Nice.
I actually hit that twice.
Congratulations, brother. Yes,
I appreciate that.
that's awesome.
And one thing that I'm super excited about is the story that I'm working on. So the premiere this Tuesday is going to be the finale of this story. So this is going to be
Nice.
part 4. So if you guys are interested in coming to the finale, it's amazing. I've got Dark Somnium, I've got Romnex, I've got Lady Nopingham, I've got you know, As the Raven Dreams. I've got 10 total narrows. I've got 10 narrators total throughout the series. But this coming Tuesday is going to be the one that has the most narrators in it at one time. I think it's like 8
Wow.
narrators. Yeah, so trying to get all those voices lined up and everything, the music and the story is effing amazing. Like, it is one of my favorite stories that I've. It's really damn good.
So there you go, guys. Check it out on Tuesday, and go. You please go visit Nightmare's Edge. You also go visit each other too. Paige Turner, all the new people, and my people. Go visit your people, and let's all just intermingle, man. I mean, because it's good stuff. I mean, we're not, you know, we have like the whole like horror paranormal thing in common. Wow, dude, thank you so much for coming here, man, and thank you for you know, just sharing your insight, just the knowledge of, you know, the things that you know about audio and your voice, and then the stories, and then the collaboration with these amazing people that I didn't know about until I met you, you know, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, here are these great writers and also other great narrators, and now I'm gonna be like, you know what, let me go ahead and you know, reach out to them, and who knows, maybe they might want to come and talk about what they're
Yeah,
doing, you know what I
absolutely.
mean? And it'll be a great thing. All right, guys. With that, if you got any last words, we'll just, you know, or we're gonna end it, and you know, it's been an awesome show.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. I had a blast. Chat again. I'm sorry. I really wish I was better at this at the moment, but yeah, I had a blast. Frank, thanks so much for having me on.
Oh yeah, man.
Can't
And
wait for Wednesday stream. I definitely enjoy
yes,
those.
yes, I gotta go and figure out what I'm. It's always a game to try to find like some really obscure, spooky photograph. I've been able
Yeah,
to do it for like the past year, so it's gonna be a fun one. And sometimes I throw in some funny things in there too. I
yeah,
had everybody
absolutely.
laughing last time, but
Yeah, well, I mean, you delivered your best evidence ever, photogenic evidence this last week. So
that's all. All right, brother. I'll see you guys in the chat. Thank you so much. I love you all for being here. And yeah, we'll catch up with each other on Wednesday. Thanks so much, Edge. You're the best, man.
appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Have a
All
good
right.
evening.
Bye, guys. Okay.